Mama, I'm driving safely. Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl.
Where we may be a little extra incoherent this week because we got some insane barf inducing news today
I'm
that
so barfy.
I can't even. Oh my
No,
God.
I don't know how to function.
Nope.
Like when we got the first email, I was on the phone with my husband and I just started screaming, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And so he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And I'm trying to text
I
you.
literally was shaking. I could not
Yeah,
stop shaking. I could barely breathe. I was in the middle of my office. I'm like, I have to type a response to this email.
you guys,
You guys
in
are
a
not ready.
month, all will be revealed.
You guys, I can't even.
Yeah,
I cannot even. This is
February
insane.
has got some insane news coming your way.
Oh my God.
What is this life?
anyways,
I'm
who are you?
Mandy of Vervet.
And I'm Karin from Central State University. Welcome
And this is
back
where I
to
put my ears in and my blah, 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 blah. Just cover my ears and pretend you're not there.
I'm so sorry to inform you. In our timeline, it is January 23rd. I wrote down the wrong
Weird.
date because I forgot to change that. It is January 23rd. And in y'all's timeline, it is February 2nd.
No, it's not.
Is
That's a
that for
lie.
real? That
I don't
can't be
like
for
it.
real.
I don't like that.
That sounds like fake news. What? Ugh. No, don't like it.
I don't like that either. It makes me sad.
Anyways, ah. This week in fangirling. Tell me what you did, Mandy.
I
In a
didn't do
short
a
week.
lot because we just talked and then it was a busy weekend. We had my niece's birthday party to go to. So we did that
Oh.
and I don't remember. We had like appointments and like the weekend before travel.
Mm-hmm.
I got day drunk on Sunday.
On accident.
On accident. So I should tell this because it was just funny
Yes.
and I want to promote my besties at the Monkey's Paw Tiki Lounge. That is where the Searchers and Paranormal Minds studio is. So we went down there to just drop some stuff off in the studio that we're going to store there. And the owner was there prepping for like a bridal, I guess it was like a wedding shot. It was a Sunday, but it was a wedding cocktail hour, I guess, that they were doing there. And then they were going to go upstairs to Pearl for dinner. And I mentioned, we're just sitting there talking. And I'm like, dude, you're the best mixologist I know, the best bartender, whatever. He would hate. I'm sorry, Tony, that I just called you a mixologist. The best bartender that I know. I had a really good guava Mai Tai at Trader Vic's in Atlanta and I need you to like replicate that. And he was like, look up their menu. What does it say? And it doesn't have anything. Like it says a mix of light and dark rums, guava, and our secret blend. And he was like, okay. And so I'm thinking he's just gonna like one day make it a monthly. Oh no, 2 minutes later, the drink is popped down in front of me. I hadn't eaten. This is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I hadn't eaten since 5:30 the night before. Not a thing. I was gone, y'all. I was telling Josh, I was like, listen, man, you're going to have to take me somewhere to get some food or I don't know if I'm going to make it home. I couldn't feel my hands. I couldn't feel my mouth. One drink, one single alcoholic beverage. I mean, I wasn't actually drunk. Okay. Like I was tipsy. I was real good and tipsy, but like I was in control of all my faculties, but I could not feel the tips of my fingers. That was fun. And then I came home and made a Sunday roast dinner because I've been on English food TikTok. That took hours. Anyways, the stuff people actually care about. If you're in Macon, Georgia, go to the Monkey's Paw Tiki Room. Okay, trust me.
Absolutely. Yes. Can confirm.
Yes, I made Karin go. We
So
left
good.
Josh with her kiddo for an hour so that we could go have lapu lapus and
It was
all of the
wonderful.
beverages. Yeah, you got to come back because they moved.
Yeah.
And it's
I will.
even cooler. Okay, so I've continued reading Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. It is long. It is a long book. I have it on Kindle, so don't quote me on this, but I think that Olivia got some sort of a book deal because now it has a release date of September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to look into that and see.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll find out about that for next week. So I talked about it last week, but Elowen and Caden are still working together to take down her father, King of Immerath, who kept her like chained in a dungeon from almost from birth. As soon as they found out that she was born bonded to 5 dragons, It's unheard of. It means she's going to be super powerful. And of course, fragile men are intimidated by powerful women. And so he immediately was like, threat. Instead
Mm.
of, I can raise my child to be my ally and to, take over this kingdom. No, chained her. She had near daily beatings from near about birth. Locked away, she escapes to Astilion and is now their queen. So Kaden has agreed to help her steal back her dragons if she'll ally Astilion with Verveth, which is where I'm from this week, where Kaden's from, and they'll go against her father. She's begrudgingly accepted because she'll do anything to get her dragons back, but she can't stand Kaden. Oh, but she can.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure
but
she
she
can.
can. Where I am, they're still fighting it. They finally kissed, but they're still like, oh, that was just a one-off. You've got a smart mouth, Angel. You've got a stupid face, asshole. It's been fun though. Like it took me a while to get into, but now I am like in the thick of it and I'm like Jones and like when I'm at work
Yeah.
all day, I'm like, I'd be reading for the flames instead. So that's been really good. I also started listening to Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard because I never did get to Blade Breaker.
Okay.
So it takes place in like a Lord of the Rings-esque type of fantasy world, but Victoria Aveyard describes this as a story where the Avengers are dead and a B team band of idiots, so like the Guardians of the Galaxy, have to step up to save the world. Like she's literally said that in panels and stuff that I've been to.
I
The
love
Avengers
that
are
so
dead
much.
and the idiots have to step up. You got to call in these guys. Yeah, I died the first time I heard her say
Oh,
that.
I love that.
Yeah. So in this case, the Companions of the Realm are this legendary group of immortals who have fallen to Terraston of Old Core, who has led this army on behalf of What Waits, which can I have a moment for that name? That's a villain's name. What Waits.
Oh.
Epic.
Oh.
Epic. Yes. What?
Okay.
And then like I'm listening to it on audio and it's What Waits. Scary. And I don't even know, like, it seems like this. I don't even know how to explain how, like, What Waits is written. It's not like What Waits is this man. What
Mhm.
Waits is this, like, ethereal monster. You don't know. All it is, it's so ominous. So it's like, is it going to be a hot villain that comes out, and it's Loki, son of Asgard. Like, I don't know. It's just so
Mm.
ominous and I freaking love it. Okay, so our lovable band of idiots. We have Andrew Trellant, he was a squire. He was there at the massacre of the Companions of the Realm where they all died. And he miraculously survives and he has to flee, which he hates because he's like, I'm supposed to die with them. But as one of them is dying, he's like, you have to
Mhm.
live. You have to live to tell this. No one will know what's happening
Mhm.
and what waits is coming. Then we have Sarasa Sarn, who is an Ibali assassin. Love her. She is sharp. We have Karin and Amarat, which is really similar to Fable. So
Okay.
she's got her dad is long dead, and he was one of the Guardians of the Realm. No, not Guardians of the Realm, Companions of the
Companion.
Realm. Sorry, Companions of the Realm, Guardians of the Galaxy. Was one of the Companions of the Realm. Her mother is this like badass pirate queen that everybody is terrified of, but she's basically got Karain landlocked. She won't let
Eh.
her go on any of the big adventures, on any of the, she's
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
I can't risk you. I'm going to go risk myself and get all of this glory and I'll have all of these adventures. You have to stay here. And Karain is miserable. You've got Demacrion of Iona. I would love to see, I would love if you have read Realmbreaker physically and pronounced that. I want to know how you pronounced it because it is spelled so interestingly. And I think she did it on purpose.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
Demacrion has two D's. Demacrion.
Where?
It's Domacridhan. I saw her with, I think it was Tiffany D. Jackson that was
Uh-huh.
like her doing her panel at
Yeah.
a Realm Breaker event. Actually, Tiffany had read the book and Victoria was like, I would love to know how you pronounce Dom's name. And she was like, I'm not even about to embarrass myself. Not even about to try.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so he's Demacrion of Iona. He's a Vidiran warrior and the only surviving member of the Companions of the Realm. So, unbeknownst to Andri, one singular Avenger is still alive. Thor, basically. Thor is still kicking. Then two more major players. We've got Erida. She's the Queen of Galland. She's being forced to choose a husband to secure Galland's future, forge alliances. Any 19-year-old queen is gonna live this same life, you know.
Mhm.
She's got like these really crusty old dudes coming up, and she's just like, I'm not marrying any of these fools. Are you kidding? She's found a husband, but she has not, you know, we haven't met him yet.
Okay.
As far as like her court hasn't met him yet. Nobody knows what's going on. And then we have Terraston of Old Kor, who was the one who led the army against the companions of the realm in service of what waits. He is Karin, the fable. It's her uncle, actually. So her dad was part of the the companions of the realm.
Gasp.
And Terraston is his twin brother. You find this out in literally like the prologue.
Yeah.
They face off, and her dad is killed by his surprise twin brother. So that is not a spoiler, even though it feels like it is. It's a spoiler for her dad.
Yeah.
Basically. If you're Karen's dad, you shouldn't have listened to that.
Or maybe you should have and left.
Don't go. They've already done the bad thing. You're gonna die. You need to get out of there. So yeah, now that everyone except Erida and Terraston, so the queen and the bad guy, are not gonna be part of the Guardians, but Andri and Sarasa and Karain and Demacrion are kind of finding each other and realizing like, oh shit, it's us. Like
we gotta
what
do the
waits
thing.
is coming. What waits is coming, and we gotta, like, if we don't do it, nobody's gonna. Yeah, it's been the first. I read it a couple of years ago when it came out, and I struggled, but I think it was because I really was trying to listen and work, like work and pay attention to work. So I kind of breezed through the audiobook and didn't really pay attention to details. This is a book that you have to be very like honed in on the details of. I haven't been trying to like do my job while I listen. I'll be like driving or, you know, cleaning, something where I don't have to be like writing
present.
an email.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I have to be present when I'm driving. I know that. I'm not saying I'm not present when I'm driving, but
you know what I mean? Like you're not using your brain.
I'm not using that part of my brain to like critically think about a spreadsheet. I'm just able to listen and drive safely. I'm driving safely, I promise. So yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot more this go around because I'm actually paying attention and I'm not completely lost.
Okay.
And then last, I watched The Marvels last night. Josh wanted to have a family movie night. So
was that your first time?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. Okay, so just quick. 30 years ago, Carol Danvers, who we all know as Captain Marvel, destroys the Supreme Intelligence, which is this AI that's controlling the Kree Empire on Hala, which is like their home world. This directly leads to civil war there, and it sends them into desolation. They have like no resources, and they are all dying. So Dar-Benn, the Kree's new leader, who I like shut up on the couch. I was like, "Is that Zawe?"
You didn't
Josh
know?
was like, "No, I have not. I saw like no promo for this movie at all."
Okay, I
don't know what happened.
Listen, the only reason that I knew was because I saw an interview with Tom Hiddleston where he said something like, my other half is in that movie, so maybe, or something like that.
You saw Tom Hiddleston in an interview and you didn't send it to me?
No, because he was talking about another woman.
Fair. So I like
I
said
know
it and I was
my
like,
audience.
"Is that Zawe?" And Josh was like, "No, it's the lady from Hala." Sir, it's Zawe Ashton. I was like, "That's Tom Hiddleston's baby mama and fiance." And he's like, "Oh." I don't know what he thought I said. He was like trying to explain to me. I was like, "No, I know." So she plays Dar-Benn, who's the Kree's new leader. She finds one of the quantum bands that Kamala Khan has, the other one. We know we saw it in Miss Marvel. Dar-Benn uses the power of that band to tear open a jump point, which causes like pop-up issues all across everything on the Jump Point network. So Monica Rambeau is with Nick Fury at Saber and goes to investigate a jump point that showed up near them at the same time that Carol investigates one that just appeared near her. When they both touch the jump point at the same time, it links Monica, Carol, and Kamala through quantum entanglement. So anytime two of them use their power in the same instance, they switch places. So as you can imagine, chaos ensues when they first because they suddenly swap and like Carol Danvers is in Kamala Khan's closet and Kamala's in space. And then second, when they meet together at the Skrull refuge camp and realize like Dar-Benn is showing up to siphon all of the breathable air at this colony. And so they realize that she's trying to steal resources from other planets and colonies in her desperation to save Hala. But she's like, "I will devastate y'all to save my people," which you want in your leader, but it sucks for everybody. Like you don't want that either.
For sure.
I freaking loved it because it was very like girl power forward, but it also made me so ragey because like I'm not going to say specifically what she does, but there are quite a few instances where there's this huge display of power from Captain Marvel specifically. And in Multiverse of Madness, they tried to lead us to believe, spoiler, 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 that Wanda's chaos magic could be more powerful than someone who has the ability to do all of these things that Carol Danvers does in this movie. And fine, if you think chaos magic can beat her, but as quickly as it happened in Multiverse, absolutely not. I will die on this hill. That is insane. I'm so ragey that like I thought I was not going to be able to finish it because I was like, this is so disrespectful. They're showing these immense. All right, you've seen it. If you have not seen the Marvels and Care, skip ahead 30 seconds. She reignites a fucking sun.
Yeah.
A sun is reignited by her power alone. And Wanda's chaos magic is more powerful than that.
And doesn't she just like drop something on her?
Yes.
And that's how she dies?
With a statue. Are you kidding me?
That's definitely what the powers of Captain Marvel would succumb to.
Right, correct.
That's exactly how Captain Marvel would die, right?
I was so irate just watching it. It was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
This is actually insane, and I hate it.
I mean, we have already established that Multiverse of Madness was not the best.
I mean, I love that.
I love Wanda.
Wanda was there, but I also want to forget that it ever happened.
Yeah, I agree. No, I get it.
Yeah. I was like, the hell is
no, I
shit?
get it. I understand.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my week. What did you do this short week?
This very short week. Okay, so for movie night, we watched Fool Me Once on Netflix, which we both thought was a movie. It's actually a mini-series.
Whoops.
So that was a fun surprise. And we were like, we'll just watch a couple episodes and then it'll be fine because it's like 8 episodes, but it's a mini-series. So they're like longer episodes. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't think we stopped after a couple. I think it was like 4, 5 because we could not stop. It was so good. It's based on a book by Harlan Coben, which I did not know going into it. So obviously it's going to be like kind of thriller vibes. So you've got a former special ops pilot, Maya, who has just lost her husband. He was recently murdered, and you know, it opens on the funeral, and then you see and they have a young daughter. I want to say she's probably like 2 or 3, and she's literally the cutest little thing ever. We spent the whole time being like, oh my god, Lily, she's so cute. So freaking cute. So her best friend gives her a gift after her husband's funeral, and it's one of those like digital photo frames. So you plug in and you have all the photos, but it also doubles as a nanny cam. There's a camera hidden into it. And so she has it placed in her daughter's like playroom so that when she's away and the nanny's watching her, she can kind of keep an eye on things. Well, one day she goes to watch the footage from the nanny cam for whatever reason, and she sees a man come into the playroom and her daughter runs to him and, you know, is all excited. Man turns and it's her husband's face. Her husband who is dead, right? So now Maya is confronting the nanny who sprays her with pepper spray and runs away.
Oh, hell
so
no.
Now it's a matter of, hold on a second. It's not really him. I'm imagining things. I'm hallucinating, whatever. Or is it the nanny set something up and is like screwing with my mind? And so it's this whole like mystery as to whether or not this was actually her husband. At the same time, you've got like the detective who's investigating the murder, and they find out. So her sister was killed just a few months before this. So she's had a really rough few months. Yeah. And so the detective who is working on her husband's case finds out some information that links the 2 murders. And so now Maya is kind of going a bit rogue and investigating on her own because she needs to know what happened to her sister, what happened to her husband. Was that actually him on the camera? What's going on? And it is I did not expect it. I was telling Beth, I'm like, I can't tell if I had read the book, if I would have figured it out by now. Yeah. But I haven't figured it out. And like, so it was,
you haven't y'all haven't
we finished it. We finished it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we watched it on Friday and we got through like 5 episodes and she was like, it is like 2 a.m. I need to go to bed. And we're like, well, we're we're gonna finish it tomorrow then, right? We're gonna have 2 nights straight. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we finished. There was no way we were. It was really good. But it does suffer from that same kind of like with the MCU series where the last episode feels really rushed. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to get to the conclusion, and I was just like, everything is happening all at once, and
Yeah.
it's bonkers. But yeah, it was really good though. I really enjoyed it, and I'll talk more about this in the next segment, but there's this one character that I'm obsessed with.
Speaking of that, and Beth,
Yes.
I need you to not do this whole 8-hour thing again for the next few weeks because she is reading Crave and she is live reacting to me, and I need that to continue. I need you to not distract her so that she can be just as obsessed as I am. Because I'm living for her reactions.
I love it.
She's falling for Hudson Vega right now too. I'm like, it's impossible not to. That man is perfect.
As soon as you were talking about it, I'm like, I know who she's talking about. Me. Pick me, I know. To be fair, she probably knows too. She listens to the podcast.
That's true. I've gushed and gushed about Hudson. I got to
you got to Oh my god.
I want to reread Crave. I know she kept saying things and I was like, I'm so jealous you get to do this for the first time. This is so unfair.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Okay, so I read First Meets Foul by Jacqueline Snow. It follows God, I didn't write down anybody's names. We've got a soccer player. They're in college at Central State, which is where I'm from. A soccer player who has recently been broken up with by her boyfriend and also is about to get kicked out of her apartment. And it's like a week before classes start, so she's not going to be able to find anywhere on campus, and she is like freaking out about it until she remembers that one of her brother's roommates had to leave for like the semester or for the year because he got injured. So he went home. And so they have an extra room in their house. And her brother is he's the star quarterback. And he lives with like 3 other football players, but they have a spare room. And so she basically goes up to him and uses her twin powers and is like, please, I need you to let me live here, at least through the holidays. I can find something, later after the first semester. And he reluctantly agrees because it's his twin sister. He's not going to let her be homeless. The only problem is she finds herself in the room across from her brother's, I guess he's like his best friend. He's, again, one of his teammates, who she is like, this man hates me. This is going to be terrible. But turns out he has actually been crushing on her since the first moment they met. He thinks she's the most beautiful thing that he's ever seen. But he lives by this like insane like thought process, like, well, this is my teammate's sister. She's completely off limits. There's no way. Also, his grandma is in like a care facility and he's basically all she has. And so he's helping to pay for her to stay there. And he's like, I need to focus on football. I need to get drafted, go to the NFL, get a signing bonus, make sure grandma's doing okay. And so I can't be dating anybody. I can't lose my focus. But of course, because she has now moved in,
all his focus is going to be across the hall.
Everything is starting to crumble. And so eventually, of course, they decide we'll just bang it out once just to get it out of our systems. Of course, that's never how it turns out.
Not ever gonna be the thing.
And so they're like, well, he's like, we can't date. I can't do that. That's too much losing of my focus. But we can do like a friends with benefits situation, which she agrees to begrudgingly because she's starting to have feelings.
Yeah.
And of course she does, because that's what always happens. And so eventually, he is like, okay, well, maybe we can just do this, but in secret. But she's like, no. I'm not going to be anybody's second choice.
No, I'm not doing secret.
not to football, not to anything. Like, because, she had issues with her ex where she was always coming in second. And so
Yeah.
she's like, I'm not doing that anymore.
No,
So
nor should you,
it's
sister.
absolutely. So she's like all in or nothing. And so he has to decide, like, do I do this? Do I do that? What do I have to do? Because he's been, again, crushing on her for like 3 years straight now. And but he's like, but my grandma, which I get, like, he wants to support his grandma, but also,
Yeah.
bro, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. They were frustrating. There was tension. It was excellent. I loved it.
You said the school is Central State.
Central State.
Can I tell you what Central State is where I am?
Sure.
The mental hospital.
Oh, that's funny.
So when you said Central State, from Central State, my like Georgia brain went.
Well, you know what? That would be on
Central
brand
State.
for me, though.
I could
Little
use
bit.
a grippy sock vacation. I could certainly use one.
I agree.
Anyways.
I finally watched the Critics' Choice Awards because it was on CW.
Boo.
Yeah, it does not stream on my, I don't have cable anymore, so I had to wait for them to put it up. But I have one thing that made me so ragey, other than the I'm Just Ken thing. Than I'm Just Ken. There was one thing that drove me crazy. The presenters are up and they're like talking about, the category or whatnot. I can't even remember. I think it was for that same category, actually. And they said something like, and then they listed off a couple names of like actors who perform songs in their movies, and they said something like, and then there are the actors who think they're singers, and one of them was Ariana DeBose.
That's the most embarrassing. I have secondhand embarrassment.
That is the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard in my life.
I heard somebody talking about her on a podcast the other day, and they were like, who, like, I don't remember who she is, except for she had like an embarrassing awards moment last year. I think it was something to do with Angela Bassett did the thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It was apparently it was awkward and people were like making fun of her for it. And then they Googled her and they were like, oh no, shit, she was in Hamilton. Oh no, wait, hold on. She's super talented. Hold on. Like
that girl is,
it's like, we're not going to talk shit about her.
The camera was on her when they said that, and the face that she made, she was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, is she about to like get up and pull a Will Smith right now? Because she'd be justified, honestly. I'm sorry, but like Ariana DeBose is an actor who thinks she's a singer?
No, she's a singer who sometimes acts. If you had to narrow her down to one thing, it's her voice.
Yeah.
God. That's her God-given talent is her voice, not her acting ability. She acts great.
Disrespectful. I was so offended. I think
I've heard I haven't had a positive, any positive feedback from any awards show so far.
It's not been great this season so far, so we'll see.
Simu's hosting something, and he was like, there will be no Barbie jokes and there will be no Taylor Swift jokes. Like, we're not going to make fun of women here.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, Ken, do it.
You know what? I'm also offended on Simu's behalf because I forget what exactly happened, but they were listing like all the Barbies and they listed a bunch of Kens, and Simu's name did not pop up at all.
He's the second, obviously when you think of Barbie and Ken, like in the movie, you're going to think Ryan Gosling because he did like the whole I am Ken or I'm Just Ken song. But next
right there
is Simu. Like,
he was in so much of like the trailer and promotional stuff too. Like as if what? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, if I listened multiple Kens, it would be Ryan Gosling and Simu.
Yeah. So yeah,
people are weird.
It's been an interesting award season, to say the least. And then today, Amazon dropped their original story collection, which is called The Improbable Meet Cute, which is 6 novellas written by some of our favorite romance authors. Words are really hard. I'm so sorry.
You were just trying to get quick. Famous favorite romance.
Yeah, I was trying. We're not making fetch happen.
Look it up.
I'm sorry. So some of our favorite romance authors, such as Christina Lauren, Abby Jimenez, Jasmine Guillory, Sally Thorne, Ashley Poston, and Soraya Wilson, and they each wrote like a little novella that has these really just insane meet cutes that are so cute. Like the Christina Lauren story is a guy sends an email to his teacher asking for something, and he accidentally emails the wrong person, but the person responds and like, hey, I think you meant to send this to this person, just wanted to let you know, like you sent it to the wrong person. And so he had emailed on Valentine's Day, and she was like, oh, at least I got some attention on Valentine's, somebody sent me a note on Valentine's Day. And so then they have this like cute little email back and forth, and it becomes like a tradition where every Valentine's Day they send each other an email to see who can say happy Valentine's Day first. And it's super cute. And like even after, because I think they were in high school, and then even after he graduates, he creates another like email, because it was their school emails, so he creates like a separate email that's basically the same so that they can keep emailing. It's very cute.
I love that.
And so and this goes on for like 10 years. They just email on Valentine's Day just to like check in with each other, and they start like getting closer, and it's very cute. It's the first story in the collection, and I was listening to the audiobook as I was like making food to eat, and things were happening, and I'm literally like, oh my god, like jumping up and down, like it's Christina Lauren.
They're super talented now. I'm gonna give it to them.
It's so good. So you've got the Christina Lauren is the exception to the rule is the name of their story. Then Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. Gosh, I wrote them all down. Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorne. Drop Cover and Hold On by Jasmine Guillory. With Any Luck by Ashley Poston, and Royal Valentine by Soraya Wilson. I thought they were all excellent. I liked the first 3 more than the last 3, but they were all still really good. And it's just like I don't know how romance authors think of these. Because they're adorable. It's adorable. They were all adorable, and I really enjoyed them. And it is available on Kindle Unlimited and Prime Reading. So if you have either of those, you can get it for free. If you do it on Kindle Unlimited, you also get the Audible book, so you can listen to it on audio if you want to do that. And they're super quick. Like I literally listened to all of them today within my workday. So
very cool.
So that was my week. I also am reading Keep This Off the Record by Art and Joy. I'm about 2/3 of the way, half of the way through. I'm half of the way through it. So we'll talk more about that later. But yes. And I think that was my whole week. I didn't write anything else down, so we're going to go with that.
Do you have a fictional boyfriend this week?
I do. I have 2. I'm still in love with Karin from the Red Queen series.
My baby.
I finished Glass Sword. I'm currently listening to King's Cage, but Karin, he can do no wrong. My sweet angel baby. I love that.
I feel that way about Maven too, though. I don't love I love Karin though.
I love Karin, so I would die for that man. I love him so much. So Karin, and then my other fictional boyfriend is Shane Tessier from Fool Me Once. He is like Maya's bestie. They serve together, and he basically is just the best. I love him so much. We spent the whole time watching. Every time he would come on screen, I'd say into the phone, I'm like, he's just so handsome. He's just so handsome. And Beth was like, I really hope he turns out to like not be the bad guy, because it's one of those stories where like you can't trust anybody. And I was like, but Daddy, I love him.
This is how one of the twins was when we were watching the Marvels, and you go to the singing planet, and there's a prince. I don't want to give away too much, but the prince, she saw it, like she went to the bathroom, and we were like, you left it the word, like this is her type. This is like the hair, the outfit, everything. And so like we rewound it for her, and she was just like, oh my God, that man is so fine.
I literally every time Beth would be like, I really hope he's not like the bad guy. Oh, I don't know, I don't trust him. And I was channeling Ariel like so badly from The Little Mermaid. I'm like, but Daddy, I love him.
Look, I don't know how I found it. I was looking for something else, but I found like a screenshot because I thought it was funny, where Brandy was reading. It was Crave. I was looking for something about Crave, and she texted me, and she said something along the lines of, "Is this going to be a Darkling situation where I'm like, Mandy, he's a psychopath, and you're like, Brandy, I love him. I can't help it. Okay, it's who I am."
If I'm sick and I don't want to get better.
No, I don't want to be well.
I don't know. I'm good. I'm good right where I am. I'm good. And you know what? The other thing is every now and then you'd see little Lily run up and be like, "Uncle Shane," and I'm just like, "This is a very handsome man with an accent with a small child. I'm sorry. Am I supposed to not love him? Are you kidding me?
Excuse me.
Are you kidding me?
Really? Let's be real.
Come on. Yeah. So those are my fictional boyfriends this week. How about you?
I'm going with Caden Velez from Fear the Flames. So he is working at the border, which is like, I guess, where the army is set up. But he has a room in the castle that's connected to hers because he wants to be able to keep an eye on her because he's sworn to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point she goes, and this is kind of a spoiler, but it's really not. It's very vague. She goes out and ends up like being shot with a poison dart, but she gets it out, so there's not a lot that it gets into her system, but she still like passes out for days. Man's goes feral, feral with finding and punishing the person who did it. Goes absolutely, but he stays with her. She's asleep for 2 days, and the whole time he is like holding her and talking to her and like talking her through it, and she can like hear it. Like she doesn't realize it, but she can hear him as she's passed out, and like later she realizes like, oh my god, he like stayed the whole time.
Aww.
While he's calling her Angel.
I love it.
Oh, and I don't want to say that. That's a spoiler. Love. Love, 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 love,
I love it.
Yeah, I think he might be a light blonde. A dark blonde though, so that's not ideal.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, all the fan art. He's like my hair. Like I hate on blonde and dishwater blonde people, and here I am.
Here I am, one of them.
Here I am, one of them.
To be fair, though, you hate on white people, and you're also one of them. So
true. White people suck. I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. Yeah. I'm just saying there's precedent for this. There's precedence for this. So
at least I can be honest. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Caden Velez of Verveth.
I love.
Yeah.
That sound means we have an intruder alert.
It's an intruder alert.
We have a very special guest this week, you guys. It is debut author Arden Joy. Her book is Keep This Off the Record.
Oh my god.
Look at how pretty she is. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
We can't wait to
excited to have you here.
So before we begin, we always like to let the author tell us about the book. So give us a quick elevator pitch of the book, just in case for anybody who doesn't know about it.
Sure. So Keep This Off the Record is a Shakespearean remake, if you can go back to high school, of Much Ado About Nothing, set in modern times. So it's a LGBTQ story about Abigail and Freya. They were speaking of high school, they were enemies in high school. They hated each other. Then they parted ways. 15 years later, they bump into each other at a high school reunion. And it's like they'd never been apart. And they start fighting. And while they're fighting, Freya's associate producer and Abby's best friend meet and they fall in love. And so now there's this whole like drama going on because their friends are in love and they're happy for their friends, but now they keep bumping into each other and they keep fighting. And finally their friends go, I wonder if they're fighting or if there's something else going on. So they get involved and, hijinks.
I love that you said take it back to high school because I have my 14-year-old twin nieces are living with me right now and they're Romeo and Juliet right now. And so every day they come home with like questions. I'm like, that is
we all did it.
Shakespeare in high school. Mm-hmm. So are you like a Shakespeare girly or is it just like you started writing and then you realized like, hey, this is I could make this work?
Yeah, well, I was a Shakespeare girly in high school.
I
was a nerd. nerd. I was a total nerd, proud of it. And yeah, that's sort of when this idea came to me. You know, there was like, I'm going to date myself now, but remember like 10 things I hate about you and like, right? So
Yes.
like that was kind of
Yes.
happening when I was younger. And I was like, why is everybody doing like Taming of the Shrew and like Romeo and Juliet when Much Ado About Nothing is like hands down the best Shakespearean play?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the idea came from. But then time went on. It took me a long time to write it. And I also started to really feel a distance from Shakespeare because obviously his writing is so like, I am a white man writing about white men and what I think women and people of color are like, you know, and so
Right.
that was kind of when the story really came to fruition. It was like, oh, you know what? All the good parts of Shakespeare, of this wonderful enemies to lovers story, like I can take it and kind of really bring it into the 21st century and
Yeah.
like give it color.
You went, I can fix him. I
Yes.
And
can
then
fix
fixed him.
this. And then fixed it. Yeah, I love
That's
that.
exactly it. Once
Yeah.
again.
That's
I mean,
perfect.
you just gotta
Yeah.
let the women step in and handle it, okay?
Right. Exactly.
It's
We'll fix it
true.
all.
It's
We'll
true.
fix it all by lunch. No big deal.
I love it.
So it is Sapphic, it is Jewish,
Mhm.
which is both things that we are told that you are. So what, I mean, obviously from personal experience, that's part of what came out in the story, but like what made you think like this is the twist that I can put on it that makes it really more diverse, I guess, than
Yeah, I
the
mean,
old story?
again, I think part of it is I wanted to see myself. So I identify as queer, and so, you know, I am married to a man, but I have dated all kinds of people. And I just what I was saying about Shakespeare, right? Like it was a very it was this very whitewashed story.
Mhm.
And when I wanted to tell it again, I was like, how can I bring something, you know, more into the story? And I want to make sure that I'm writing about things that I know. That can be a big stumbling block for authors when they start
Mhm.
veering off into, you know, representing other characters that they
Oh,
know
yeah.
nothing about.
Yeah.
So it was really important for me to kind of stick to what I know, but then also, you know, particularly in this story, there's a character that it's a story about the freedom of being who you are. And that includes loving who you love, not just kind of in the like love is love way, but really just like maybe, I don't know, spoilers, enemies to lovers story. Like maybe it's like someone you hate.
Right.
But, you know, this
I mean, it's a fine
idea,
line.
right?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's kind of,
They're
you know, the characters kind of come to realize that too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
fine line. So yeah, I just thought it was, you know, there's one character who really kind of is suppressing the side of herself, not even in a closeted way, but more of like, I don't have time for this. I'm not going to deal with it, you know, because she's so focused on her success and her career and her
Mhm.
perfection. And so it's kind of when she comes into her true self and her softness and like who she really is that she's able to kind of experience love and, you know, love the somebody that she's always loved.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that I definitely know about is just kind of like really focusing on just moving forward and not really experiencing all of who I am. And so this book was a big part of that, was me kind of going like, here are some sides of myself you may not know, but now they're in this book. So it's been
Aw.
an amazing, vulnerable experience, as if
Yeah.
writing a book isn't vulnerable enough. Then
Right.
to put yourself in there.
Right.
Absolutely.
You said you took a long time to write it. Did that mean like you had the idea and then you waited to write, or have you been writing this whole time? And like, what is your writing process like?
Yeah, so I love telling this story because I hope it really inspires other writers as well. I started this book over 20 years ago, and it was one of those things where I started it and then I like stopped, right? It took some time and life happened, and then I did finish it, and then I tried to get it published and I got rejected over 100 times. And then I thought, okay, there must be something going on here. So I went back to the drawing board. And you know, in between these things, I got married, I had a kid, like life moved on, but I still wanted to work on this story. I wrote other things as well, but it kept calling. I kept going, I got to
Yeah,
finish
you're
this
like, this
one.
is
So
it.
I did. I came back. I totally rewrote it, went back out, got rejected a whole bunch more, and then I didn't.
All
And
it takes
so
is
I
one.
love
it just
it.
All it
takes
takes is
one,
one.
exactly. So, yeah, it definitely, again, talk about, I think writing is just such a vulnerable experience. You have to be okay with getting rejected a lot and other things too.
You're making me feel so much better, especially with it taking you 20 years, because I've got a whip that I've been sitting on for two and a half. Like
Oh, I
feel you.
I'll throw out 3,000 words in a
Mhm.
few hours, and then I won't touch it for 3 months. And then it'll be
Yes.
like, I've got this spurt of like, I'll
Yep.
shoot up in the middle of the night and email myself, like, don't forget this.
Yes.
And then I
Yeah.
won't look at it again. It's like,
Yes. And that's,
oh
it's a
God.
little embarrassing. Sometimes I say, like, it took me 20 years and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what do people think? But you know what? That was
No,
my process.
Yeah.
that was the
And
journey too that
that,
led you to
Yeah.
us holding this book.
yeah,
Like,
I
Yeah.
know. That is so exciting to see you holding it. But yeah, that's exactly it. I want someone else to hear that. And because I'm in a lot of writing groups and Facebook groups, and there's always people, they'll say things like, I got rejected by 5 agents, or
yeah,
I've been working on this book for 2 years. And I'm like, no, not 5
yeah, you're
agents, 2
fine.
years. No,
You
try
got
200 agents and 20 years.
right.
Well, and see, a lot of times you see these people who like, I wrote my first book and it immediately got picked up and now it's a
Immediately.
movie. And it's like, that's great, but it's not the most realistic picture for authors out there, because most people are going to get rejected and
Yes.
struggle to get their book published. And then like, it does happen. It can happen. It will happen
Yeah, you
when it's
can win the
supposed to.
lottery and get struck by lightning too. Like those things
Right.
do happen. But for the rest of us, it's a very realistic experience of,
Yeah.
failure and struggle and pushing through. And it takes time. And when you finally hold your book, it's a wonderful experience. But it may not turn into a movie. Everybody hopes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
all
for
want to make
sure.
that one.
Absolutely. But it does. It like you said, there's this quote that I heard from Constance Wu, who is an actress, and she said making a mistake is part of the bigger journey of becoming better at what you do. And I feel like that applies to rejections as well, because you kind of, yeah, it's great if you are successful right out the gate, but like if you're rejected, that doesn't mean you're bad. It just means
No.
you have the opportunity to get better.
Yes.
It's
Well, and getting rejected too, like, especially in this industry, it can be anything. It could be that the agent or the publisher literally just got a book like yours and they're like, I can't do 2 of them.
yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
there's so many reasons. But yes, I was most grateful for rejections where any agent or publisher gave me one little tidbit where they were
Yeah.
like, I didn't like the way this opening had X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I heard you. Okay, I'm going to
I
work
can
on
fix
that,
that. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've heard, we interviewed Breanne Randall, who wrote The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. And she said, I never let a rejection bother me because I knew like that was one rejection down to my yes.
Wow.
And she was like,
Wow.
statistically, I knew like
One step
the more
closer.
no's I went through, eventually I was going to get to my yes. And it was like, oh my
That's
God,
a mind-blowing way.
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
is.
I
Yeah.
just poured a glass of wine. I had a lot of wine over the years, but I like her way better.
I know. Your way's more relatable. So are you a plotter? Are you a pantser when you write?
I am a little bit of both. So this book, I really enjoyed getting to write this book because I knew kind of the major plot points, right? I'm not someone who can sit down and be like, in this chapter, this is going to happen. In this chapter, it's more like, okay, I know I need to hit like at this point, this thing needs to happen. I don't even know what the thing is, but there has to be
Yeah.
some big
A
explosion that's
big
going to
thing.
and that then I know. And one of the things that has been such a delight to me is that a lot of the reviews that have come in is that people really love the characters. It's kind of like Friends. There's a whole group of
Yeah.
people and they're like, these characters are so much fun. And I really feel like my characters drive the story, if that makes sense. I know that always sounds so weird, but if I'm like in my head, I'm like, okay, we've got to get to this, thing that's going to happen. I kind of let the characters run.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
They
tend to
have
get
a mind of
themselves.
their own.
They really do. And it just seems so weird, but
Well, no, and
yeah.
sometimes it's kind of offensive sometimes where you're like, okay, this is what's going to happen with your like storyline. And they're like, no,
That's
not my
life.
That's silly.
what
You're
happens.
silly. You're in a silly, goofy mood. That is not what
Actually,
happens.
this is more in like fantasy realms, but it's like, actually, I'm going to die now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
You're
oh
like,
no, I'm gonna
"What?"
die.
What?
What do you mean?
You're a lovable side character. to me.
I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a big dialogue person. I love kind of letting the conversation also really drive things forward. So, yeah, I just let everybody talk and they get themselves into trouble. That's kind of what
Yeah.
I
And you're
do.
like, okay,
Do
all
you
right,
have, so
mother's
you
here
do
for it.
you do have like a cast of characters? Is there any one of them in particular that either you liked the best? I know we can't pick
I
favorites because they're all your children, but or like somebody that you related to the most or has the most of you in them?
Boy, that's a tricky one. I would say so the general fan favorite, I have a character named Riley. They're this kind of non-binary sidekick. It's actually based off a friend of mine who was there at the genesis of this story. We used to sit in a cafe after classes in college and I would be like, I have this idea for a story. I wrote a couple lines. What do you think? And so, yeah, I kind of used Bill as this character, this basis, and he grew into Riley, who is just this very, just a lot of fun and always gets to come in with those quips, those little
Yeah.
things
The
that just kind of
zingers.
spice up the scene and take out there's so much drama going on. And then Riley comes in and says something, and
There's
you're like, whew,
there's
okay.
one part where Riley is like, okay, you're making me do what I don't want to do. I have to be the serious one in the room. I'm like, relatable.
That's exactly, yeah. So Riley's like, don't make me be the grown up. Don't make me wrinkle. No wrinkles.
No,
Like,
Yeah, I don't want to do
exactly.
this. Stop what you're doing right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay, so I've seen on your website that we have Leave This Off the Books coming, which is Naomi and Will's love story.
Yes.
We'll see a bit. I know we see a bit of it in Keep This Off the Record, but we'll see like their perspective. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I'm so excited. So the book that my publisher picked up was the complete book. It was Keep This Off the Record was actually, so instead of Abby and Freya's perspective, it was Abby and Naomi's perspective. And so you were actually getting the two love stories at the same time.
Ah.
And a little ways in, they were like, so what do you think about splitting the book into two? And I was like, oh, wait, what? So, yeah, so that we basically kind of started over. I had to, in a sense, write two books, even though I had already written one.
Yeah.
So, yes, I wrote Keep This Off the Record with Abby and Freya, and now I get to go back and do the same thing. So, the two people that meet at the high school reunion, the associate of Freya and the friend of Abby, when they fall in love, they have their own super dramatic love story going on with this big breakup that's on TV, and it's the whole thing. And but it's happening in the background, and Abby and Freya are involved in it. They're trying to kind of like fix it. And
Yeah. They get
but
the
so in Leave This Off the Books, we get the flip side of that, right? So
right.
now we're all focused on Naomi and Will and their first meeting and how they fall in love. And then as the drama builds up, because Naomi has this very like nasty ex that's causing all these problems. And just like in Keep This Off the Record, Naomi is not willing to sort of be her true self. And so when you keep these secrets, they tend to create problems. And so she gets herself into all kinds of trouble. And Will has some growth too. We work on him a little bit as well. So yeah, it's really cool because in Keep This Off the Record, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the friends trying to figure out what's going on with Abby and Freya and like get them to figure out their feelings. So because we get the flip side of the story, now you get to find out what they were doing. You
Yeah, we're
get
not on the
more of
outskirts anymore.
Yeah.
yeah,
We're in it.
exactly. Yeah, so so Abby and Freya kind of become the background love story, and Will and Naomi come to the forefront.
I love
Very
that.
nice and very
That's such a cool
exciting.
way to like approach a story
Yeah.
because you don't normally get that. I mean, we get,
You get like Easter
the
eggs.
yeah, you
Yeah.
get like the dual POV, but usually that's where that story ends. And now it's kind of like, okay, rewind. Let's start from the
Yes.
beginning again.
Start over from a different perspective.
Yeah,
It gives me what's the song? The Hamilton where they rewind and then it's from Angelica's
Oh yeah.
perspective. Yeah,
yes.
it gives me those
Satisfied.
vibes. Yeah, that's it. I was like, why is it not coming to me?
Yeah. I
But
got
Yeah.
yeah,
you.
that's so much fun.
It's been really fun because I get to kind of develop these things that were in passing, and go like, ooh, I in my head I sort of knew what was happening in that other room, or if you
Mhm.
half overhear a conversation, like I knew what they were saying, but now I actually get to flesh it out. It's also incredibly challenging because you are locked in. You are
That's what
locked
I was gonna
in from the
say.
first
Yeah.
book. So like if somebody says like, oh, well, let's meet on Friday night, and then you're in book 2 and you're like, Friday night doesn't work because we really needed like this
Yeah.
extra day for this other thing. It
Mhm.
can't be on a weekend when the next day, you're like, shoot, how do I work? Like you can't
Yeah.
change the
You're like, I
days,
need
you
a
can't
time
change the
machine.
dialogue. You can't even
Just
change where
kidding.
people are in a room. If you needed someone to like overhear something
That's
or bump
right.
into
Oh,
somebody, you're like, well,
no.
shoot, in the first book, she was on the other end of the room.
You are giving me so much anxiety right now.
It's
Yeah.
been
Well,
very stressful.
yeah, that's what
Oh
I was gonna say. I was like, how challenging that must be because
yeah.
you already have everything's built out.
Yeah.
You,
It's
you're very
Oh
restricted.
my
That's
my
gosh.
crazy.
editor. I hope she listens to this because I am calling her out. When she was like, here's what we want you to do. She was like, easy. It's gonna be easy. You just have some dialogue. It's already written for you. And now as I'm sitting there with the 2 documents, side by side,
Yeah.
like double checking each line and going like, well, what did they say they were doing in that, I'm like,
Hmm.
Alex, I'm coming for you, Alex.
Alex.
How could you do this to
Yeah,
Why would
why
you
me?
did you
do
do this to
this?
me?
Do you have or will you have like a kind of, I don't want to say like fact checker, proofreader kind of, but somebody who is their mission
Second
is
set
to
of
make
eyes.
sure, yeah, somebody whose their mission is to make sure everything matches up with the
Lines
first
up.
book?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it Alex. Alex is gonna do it.
Alex, justice. Justice is served, Alex.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. That's wonderful.
Okay, so I want to take it away from books for a few minutes. I want to talk about Girls Who Travel
Yes,
because I
I
love
love
this
talking.
idea.
Yeah. What can I tell you about it? I love to talk about
All of
girls who
the
travel.
things.
Everything. Everything.
Well, okay. So, Girls Who Travel, our mission is radically redefining travel to be inclusive, sustainable, and empowering. And I just it's so funny. Every time I talk about it, I like get goosebumps because I'm just so excited about what we do. It started in 2011 because I traveled. And back then, that was a long time ago now, there really wasn't a lot of online. I mean, Facebook wasn't even like a big thing yet, right? There
Right.
was no TikTok, there was nothing.
Mhm.
And I wanted to travel. And I had grown up in a family that didn't have a lot of money. So I didn't have travelers in my life. We traveled locally, but
Mhm.
I was ready to go further and I didn't know what to do. And I had to figure it out by myself, which was fine, but it was scary because I didn't have a community to help me. And I went on this trip and it was one of those like life changing trips, which I know sounds so like dramatic, but it's true because I just really figured out like how strong I was, right? That I could like
Yeah.
go
Mhm.
do this all by myself. I went with my friend, but like the two of us like went there and did this thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it really showed me the world, how big it is and also how small it is. A little bit of both, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I came back and I was like, well, how can I help like more women? I want other women to feel the way that I felt. And so I started a blog where I just started like writing tips of things that I had learned. What's a hostel? I didn't know what a hostel was at the time. And it was an amazing tool for me on that trip when I figured it out. I was like, oh, I can stay places inexpensive and have a community, which is kind
Yeah.
of what you need
Right.
sometimes. So I started writing out these tips. And then I was like, well, I don't really know a whole lot about travel. I need more women to help me put together
Right.
information about
Yeah.
travel. So I started inviting bloggers to come in and write a guest article. And then Facebook groups kind of took off. And so I started a Facebook group and then it like went and so now we have 86,000 women representing over 100 different countries. And we just have this incredible community where we focus on this idea of redefining travel and not just focusing on passports and plane tickets, because, there are so many reasons that people cannot get on a plane and go
Mhm.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Everything from your passport not being strong enough. Maybe your passport is not accepted in a lot of countries. You may not have the money. You may not have the physical ability. Whatever it is, we want want to help you work together as a community to have the resources that you need to travel.
To go
So
somewhere.
yeah, it's everything from, obviously we have this community. So a lot of times people will be like, oh, I'm going here. Is there anyone here? And someone will be like, yeah, I'm here. Let's go hang out. Let's get coffee. So like you have an immediate
Oh,
friend wherever you're going. We
yeah.
offer a travel safety course, right? It's the number one travel safety course for women because that is one of the number one fears that
Oh,
women
yeah.
have. So we have this really comprehensive course that covers everything from what to do before you leave to what if you do it, when you're going out drinking, everything. And then we do offer tours as well. Our upcoming tour is to Vietnam, and then we're doing a safari later this year.
Oh,
So, we want to just really help people realize their travel dreams, whatever they might be.
that
I'm
sounds so
obsessed.
fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
How
I
fun
know.
that is.
I'm
Okay.
ready to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Problem is, I have a husband who would want to go with me.
Oh, how dare
So,
he want to spend time with you?
Well, we're
The worst.
looking into doing like a more co-ed family tour next year.
Ooh, now that I'll need because I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to leave him behind.
Eh.
I like him, I guess.
I don't have one of those. I can go.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you
Karen
should
can
come.
go.
Oh man,
I
we've
can
got
go.
some exciting. We're just getting ready for 2025 now, and we're gonna announce it soon. And I'm like so excited. We've got so many trips.
Ooh,
It's
What a
gonna be
blast.
great.
Listen, we were talking, I don't know if it was, I think it was last week or the week before, how 2025 in the lunar calendar is the year of the snake, which we both are. So
Yes,
we're
yes.
like,
2025
2025 is
is our
literally our
year.
year.
It's your
Yeah.
year.
It's
This
Yeah, where
year
are you
we're
gonna
just
go?
getting ready. We're building
we're
up
just
to.
we're preparing for our big year next year. So
I love it. Well, it makes me think about coiling. Did you ever hear about coiling? Right? It's where it's like a
Oh.
spring, right? A spring coils, you press it down, you get real small, and then when you let go, it's like boom, right? So I feel like 2024, you're coiling just the way a snake does, right? They coil so that you
oh,
can explode out in 2025. It's deep thoughts.
oh my
I
god.
love
I love this so much.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
very exciting.
We are coiling. This is the
Yeah.
year that we're coiling.
I
Yeah.
love it. All
Yeah.
right,
And next year we're gonna strike.
we just had a very girl power moment. So of course I'm gonna switch it over to the worst topic that we can possibly switch to afterwards.
Okay.
We have a segment on our podcast called Fictional Boyfriend of the Week, and we pick a character from a movie or a book that we just really vibed with. Like that is my baby.
That's
I
my
love
boo
him.
thing.
So we always ask our guest if you have a fictional boyfriend of the week, or just a fictional character that you really vibe with. You think everybody needs to know who they are, and it doesn't have to be a boyfriend. I once had a fictional granny, so just
Wait, you just took this into a
I know.
weird. I was like
Listen.
racking my brain for a boyfriend. You're like, but also a grandma. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fine.
It's fine. You can just pick
See,
whoever
like,
you.
I always have mine locked and mine don't change hardly ever. And Karin, I have to remind her who hers are.
Like who?
I have weekly, but if someone came up to me and was like, "Who's your favorite fictional boyfriend?" I've got it.
Yeah, she does.
So, but most people, it's like, "What is a book?"
I've never
have heard of a
read
movie.
something? What is?
Have I ever read
I
anything?
know you've really made my mind go blank. I'm like, I know I have tons of crushes on all kinds of people.
This is the moment where literally
Yeah.
everything leaves your brain.
I'm a Martian, and I just am not. I'm not.
All
that
right, I
way.
may need to. I can tell you, when you said granny, I was like, well, I know. I was just so we all saw the Barbie movie, right?
Yes.
I actually
Okay.
haven't yet.
Karin, I
We're
can't
watching
talk
it on
about it.
Friday. We're watching it on Friday.
Okay.
Can't.
All right. Well, there's a grandma in there that shows up at the end. And I was like, see, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm like, this is a lame answer, and maybe the super hot, whoever,
No.
it'll pop into my head in a second. But I was like, that was my vibe. I was like, can I sit in your lap? And also,
I just
she was
wanna
on
hold you.
Cheers, which I wasn't,
Aw.
I'm not old enough
Yeah.
for Cheers, but I did watch
It was
it.
on Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I really
Around.
love classic TV. I love
Yeah.
watching all the old shows. I love Cheers, and I loved her on Cheers. And
Yeah.
when she showed up, and she was this amazing grandma who was like, "I made you." I was like, "Oh my
I
gosh!"
sobbed through the entire movie.
Yes, that is
to the point that my
exactly-
husband was like, "Are you good over there? Are you all right? Do you need to hit me? You can hit me." I didn't. But he was just looking at me like, "Okay."
So that's I would say off the top of my head, since we can do anybody, I would pick that fictional granny, but give me a second to like think of somebody hot. And do you list people too, or is it just me? I'm just on the
I
spot.
can. Like,
You
like I
can.
said, I'm locked and
Who's your
loaded all
locked
the
and
time.
loaded? I need to know. Maybe it's mine too.
Aaron Warner from Shatter Me is number one forever. That man, like, and then I love Hudson Vega from Crave. I love Lorcan Salvatore from Throne of Glass. Castile Denier.
You do have them locked and loaded, Karen.
I like. I'm a like
sitting here. I'm
fangirl
sitting here
from
like,
birth. Okay, so I
hold
keep
on.
them.
Who do I love now?
Everyone from
know.
These Violent Delights, Karen. Those are your
you.
fictional boy and girl friends. And oh, Loki is one of mine, and Bucky is hers.
Bucky and Wanda.
Wanda.
See, I love Wanda.
I love you could just answer for her.
She can answer for. I don't need to answer. She knows the answers.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't work that well.
So authors will be like, "Who are y'all?" And Karen's like, "I need to think," and I'm like, "I don't. You love everybody from These Violent Delights. You love Bucky and you love Wanda."
It works. Well, we always joke that we share a brain cell between the two of us. So she always gets it when that question comes up. So
yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If you watch closely on the video, you'll see the brain cell ping pong back and forth between us.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We have to pick one every week too, though. So that's sometimes challenging.
We do.
That's tough. Yeah. You put yourself through a lot of work.
We kind of did it to ourselves, but it's fine. We survived.
Yeah. Okay. We have another question that we always ask. If you think of a fictional boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, you can shout it out whenever it comes to you.
It will.
It's going to come to you at 3 a.m.
End. Yeah.
It'll be we're going to log off and you're going to be like, no.
We're going to have to get back on Zoom. I'm going to email you and be like, get back. I got it.
Okay, so when you are not writing, what are you reading? Or like, what books would you recommend? What books do you think everybody should read? What books do you just love that you think that we should read, other than yours, obviously?
Obviously. That's a great question. So my go-to, I love a good thriller. I love it when I'm just surprised by the story. I think that's why I'm curious. I actually have a thriller in the chamber that I may write at some point, but I'm always surprised. Like, I feel like people who write thrillers are like, oh, I saw that coming. And I'm always like, what?
Yeah.
I really liked The Wife Between Us. I don't know if you read that. That was.
Oh, I haven't, but it is on my TBR.
It's
I've had a lot of friends recommend it.
It was one of those like, what kind of moments. And I have a lot of fun with those. I do love rom-coms too. I mean, obviously I write them, so I love them. I loved The Matzo Ball by Jean Meltzer was really good. I don't know if you read that one. And I'm trying to think of what else I just finished. It's like The Fictional Boyfriend, because you asked me. I won't remember. I'm proud that I remembered 2 books. I feel like
you did great.
My brain's really working.
You killed it.
You're doing great.
Yeah. We're proud of you for this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I should like write these down so that I can have them off the top of my head. I have one of those brains. I don't know about either of you, but like if you ask me something, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, and my husband loves to play a game with me where I'll be like, who is the person in the thing with the people? And he doesn't have the brain like me. So he'll be like, oh, you mean, so-and-so in Lost? And I'm like, how did you get that from the thing with the people?
I have a brain like your husband's. So I did ADHD testing a while back, and the doctor, like when I went back, she was like, first up, you're terrible at math. Second, she was like, it's not ADHD, but you have so much anxiety that it's like manifesting in ADHD symptoms, and it's crazy. And she was like, biggest thing, I would never want to go against you in trivia ever.
Oh, see,
she's like, I don't want to do that. It's where did I put my car keys? I have no idea. But if you want to know like some like niche thing, I've got you. I know who that guy was in the thing with the people. It was Benjamin Linus from Lost. He was also on Evil. Yeah.
That's exactly like we need those people in our lives for those of us who are like the thing. And you're like,
the thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
You know, that
You got the
thing
face.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Karen
husband will
knows.
do that, and I'm like, Hold on," and I'll Google for like 3 seconds, and I have the answer, and he's like, "What? How did you like? What did you even put into Google?" And I'm like,
I do that. I do that all the time for her, to her. Like that.
Yeah.
Who needs Google when you have Mandy?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we need each other. We find each other. The
Yeah.
Mandys and the Karens, the Ardens and
Yeah.
the Mikes, we find each other and we're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're the one that's going to answer all the questions for me. And we get to pull all the fun trivia. He's always so proud of
Yeah.
himself. He's like, I did it. I did it. And I'm like, yeah, thank you.
The only time where we're the opposite is with Marvel. Like I can't
Oh.
even. She's
Oh,
like
yeah.
got an encyclopedic knowledge of like Marvel, and I'm like, I forgot, because I also have the brain of like, as soon as I finish a book, I forgot everything that I read.
That I do too. But that's
Yeah.
why I love it. Because then if I really enjoyed it, I'm like, I'll just come back in
Yeah.
two
Just do it
months and read it
again.
again and be totally shocked by the twist.
Yes. And
I
it's like,
recently I
no, go for
recently
it.
read Red Queen, and I finished it, and I was talking to her about it, and she was like, well, what about this and this? And I was like, I finished it like 5 minutes ago. I
Yeah.
don't remember anything. What are you
No, it's
talking about?
gone.
And she's like, I read it like a couple years back. I'm like, what do you mean you read it a couple years back? Why are you trying to ask me about it?
Yeah.
I just read it. Give me
It's
time.
done. It's
Yeah.
done.
It's over.
Mine is like with the rereads, I will just be like, I miss this character. I really miss this character. I need to
Yeah.
reread it so I can
Mhm.
root them again.
I
That's
understand.
why
I understand that.
I
That's
don't know the
the ending
story
thing is
anymore.
hard. I
Yeah.
don't like it when stories end and you're like, but you were my friend. We were
I
hanging out and now
know.
you're gone. Come
I
back.
keep
Oh, I can read
saying
you
that
again.
I want to reread Throne of Glass because I miss Dorian so much. And I
She's
don't
been
even
saying
really
that
have
for
that
weeks
much of
now.
a romantic. I mean, Dorian's super hot, but he wasn't my favorite. But like, I'm just like, I miss my friend Dorian. I
I
just want
just
to go
thought of
spend
a
some
book.
time
This is a weird one, but this is something that I think everybody should read.
Yeah.
Hit me.
It's by Lori King and it's a series and it's called The Beekeeper's Apprentice and it is.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Have you? So it's
Yeah.
basically Sherlock Holmes after the books are done. It's the story and I fell in love with it because it was a young Jewish girl in 19 teens England and she kind of bumps into this like older grumpy gentleman and then discovers that it's Sherlock Holmes and he kind of takes her under his wing and they like start solving
Oh,
mysteries
I
together.
love that.
And it's really, I don't really like it when people like that would not sound appealing to me because I like Sherlock
it
Holmes and I'd be
seems
like,
so
don't.
wholesome.
It's super wholesome. And Lori King has a lot of fun with it and claims that she found these like diaries. It's written in the first person of the main character, this girl who grows up. But so she claims that she like found them in her grandma's attic. And so she's like, or it washed ashore. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But so
Yeah.
you like kind of are never sure if
You're
they're
like, is
real or
this
not. So there's
real?
this part of you that kind of hopes that like maybe Sherlock Holmes was real and he really did like meet this girl and
I'm gonna
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
love
choose
that.
to believe that he did.
I know.
Yes, I
I
love
That
choose
that.
did
to.
happen.
That
Yeah.
is the cutest, most wholesome thing. I
Yeah.
love that so
Isn't
much.
that random? I know. I was thinking about books. You ask about things that people should read, and that's like one that has stolen my heart for a long time. And I reread
Yeah.
those books over and over again because I loved the
Yeah.
characters, you know? So
Yeah,
yeah, it's like wholesome and fun, and you still get that mystery thrill, and you know.
Yeah.
I love it.
My go-to for recommendations is always Lovely War by Julie Berry. We had a guest recommended to us and I read it and it was like, oh, if I have to
Yeah.
tell anybody to read a book,
Yeah, that's
it's
the
gonna be that
one.
one. That's like the one that pops to my head every time.
My
Nice.
my most recent one of those is The Unmaking of June Farrow.
Oh, I
Anytime
heard that was really good.
go
It's
into it
insane.
with no knowledge.
Yeah,
Just
don't
read
look
it.
it up. Don't Google it. Just read it. It's
Nothing.
not a
Just
scary
read.
book or anything like that.
No,
There's
nothing
nothing
like
like
that.
upsetting.
But
But
it's just it is so good. Like
yeah,
anytime anybody asks for a recommendation, that's my go-to now.
All
yeah.
right, I've got some work to do.
Well, you've been busy writing and trying to match up two
Yeah.
books,
Oh my
so
gosh, I know.
I do not envy you for this at all.
it's gonna be
No.
really cool once it's done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
But the
maybe I can
process.
come back on after when the second one's
Well,
Oh,
done.
well, speaking
well, funny
of, since we have
story.
kept you a little bit
Yeah.
longer than we meant to.
But funny story, now that you have been on the podcast, you're actually legally obligated to come back for every book release. We don't make the rules, we just enforce them.
I understand. I know. I did sign that contract.
Yeah, exactly. That imaginary contract that we sent over.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
sign that
We will-
in
I
invisible
definitely
ink.
will
signed
come
it.
twist your arm.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. That we can have drinks afterwards, right? Twist my arm and then have some
Yes,
drinks.
I
exactly.
love
Sounds
this.
great. Let's do it.
Well, thank you for hanging out with us. It's been so much fun. Everybody, when this episode comes out, the book will be out. So go get it. Keep this off the record by Art and Joy. You're going to love
Thank you
it.
so much.
Thanks for
Yes,
hanging
we
with
had
us.
a blast. We're sorry we kept you a little bit longer than we said
Than we
would.
intended.
Oh my gosh. No, we were having so much fun. Oh, can I tell you one thing that's like super random, but you just made me
Yeah.
think of it? So there is an audiobook version coming out, and Freya is being narrated. So it's two narrators. Freya is being narrated by Mara Wilson, who you might know as Matilda.
Wait, yeah.
Stop.
That's insanity. Hold on now.
Stop. What? She said what?
I know.
What?
know.
How did
Matilda
that
isn't
happen?
reading my book. Sorry, I know you guys are like, we're done. And I'm like, oh,
No,
but also.
that's-
No, I'm like, how
This
did this
is
happen?
This is what? This is groundbreaking
I'm
information.
so excited. Like,
That
I got
is
to
so
listen.
cool.
Yeah, I know. She asked to she auditioned for my book, and we were like, yes, yeah, of course. What? Yes.
You audition?
What do you mean?
exactly.
No, you can have it. You can do whatever you want.
You just
Do-
tell
You
me.
can sing it. Sing the book. I don't care.
Do whatever.
Yeah, you want to rewrite my book? That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just
Make
tell
sure
me
that
that
they are
I'm
still here
powered.
on Friday night though, because the second book, like you got to keep it on track.
Yeah.
Change whatever you want to, Mara.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, just let me know what you changed so that
Yeah.
I can add it to the second book. But yeah, if you are an audiobook listener, I'm a big audiobook person.
We are. We're
Same.
huge
Yeah.
audiobook people.
All right. Well, then you
Yes.
should definitely get a copy of the
I'm
audiobook so you can
going
listen to
That
Mara
is
Wilson.
so cool.
This is so cool.
Oh, how
Oh my gosh, I
wild.
would
That's
pass
so
out.
cool. I know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Pass
You're
out
the
or
first-
away. One of the
I
two.
haven't even told anybody. They just sort of like got finalized. So like I actually got to listen to it. So I haven't even it hasn't been up on our publisher's website or anything, but yeah. So you're the first to know, I think.
That's so
Right?
exciting. Oh my gosh. I can't wait.
Thank
I
you. Yeah,
know.
it's
Yeah,
really
we're
exciting.
huge audiobook listeners.
We both
here,
have
so-
office jobs where we
that
can listen
all
while
day.
we work.
So
Yeah.
yeah. We
It's
This
all
is so
about the
exciting.
audiobooks.
This is
I'm
so
a big
exciting.
fan. I have 2 kids, so that's the only way I get any reading done now is
Yeah.
chasing them with, one
Right.
one a year.
like it just means that you can always be reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best part of it. So
I agree.
That is
So,
so cool.
anyway, thanks for letting me share that. And thanks for
Of
letting me come on here and
course.
have
Oh my
the
gosh,
best
thank you
girl
for
talk ever. This was
coming.
amazing.
thank you for coming. This was so
Look,
much fun. We're
We're
looking forward
normally
to
here
this.
every Thursday, so if you ever just want to pop in,
Just
you've
come and
got
hang
the-
out. Can I
you've got
just
the
hang
code.
out? I'll just show up in the middle of your recording and be like,
Hey guys,
Hey.
we are
Yes.
always down for some girl talk.
woohoo.
That's why we made the podcast, because we just
Honestly.
wanted to geek out about books.
I love it.
Every week.
I love it.
I mean, especially in this like digital age where all your friends are like spread out across the world.
Yeah.
Like if you have a scheduled like hour, 2 hours every week, then you still get to hang out, and that's basically what we get to do.
I love it. And then you get to bring other friends in and chat
We
with
get
them
to
a
make
little
so many
bit.
new friends. It's been so much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna show up every Thursday night. I'm just on your podcast now, so
Perfect.
We're not recording this
sounds like a lot of
Thursday, but
fun.
After that, yeah, pop on in.
Yeah. All right. We've kept you so long. Thank you so much for hanging
Thank
out.
you. This was really
you.
great. Yeah, thank
We will
you.
talk
We'll
to you
talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
She is so cute.
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
I had so much. My face hurts. I always say that, but
I'm
my
like-
face hurts.
I know. We.
I am so furious with you. I did not realize you haven't seen Barbie. Are you waiting for me to engrave you an invitation, Karen?
We're watching it on Friday for movie night
Why hasn't this been movie night 6 months ago?
because it
Karen,
wasn't
I'm going to
streaming
send
6
Beth
months ago.
a scathing review about this.
You do that. You
Just
do
kidding.
that. It's clearly
You're going to
her
cry,
fault.
though.
Of
You're going
course
to
I'm
cry.
gonna cry. Of course course I'm gonna cry. I'm me. Of course I'm gonna cry. That just made me think of that trending like thing where it's like, we're such and such. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm me. Of course I'm
We
gonna
need
cry.
to do one.
We should. We'll
Yeah.
think of something. It'll be funny.
Yeah. We'll just make it and bounce it back and forth.
Yeah.
One of mine's gonna be, we're fangirls. Of course we know who our favorite fictional boyfriend is at the drop of a hat.
And then it'll pan to me and like, do we? Do we though?
Yes, I do.
All right. So it is time for some announcements. Or an announcement. We have an announcement. And that is our next guest.
No big deal.
No big deal. No big deal. Very exciting guest. We have Case and Calendar coming back to the podcast to talk about Infinity Alchemist. And
I'm a repeat offender.
So freaking excited. Had so much fun with them last time.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. It's going to be such a blast.
I'm ready for you to read Infinity Alchemist.
I'm very excited.
Like it. Yeah.
I'm very excited to get started on it. So that's going to be this week. I'll be reading that this week. I'm dying to tell people.
I know.
I'm like dying.
So many people DM me and they're like, hey.
I know.
And I'm like, I want to tell you, but I can't.
Listen, I want to tell you so bad. I want to tell you so
we
bad.
kind of have already told you.
That's
in
true,
past episodes. Like
we have told you before.
We have said this.
Listen,
happening.
We are big manifestors on this podcast, as y'all know. And it's just coming. It's coming. So, I mean, I can't believe it. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Anyways, that's a little secret. That's a little Easter egg tidbit hint that we left you many episodes ago.
many episodes ago.
Yeah. All right. You want to do a spiel?
It's time for a spiel. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are listening to us. Please follow us on social media. We are at The Incoherent Fangirl on all the things. Please visit our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes as well as read our blog, which has so many book reviews that it's overwhelming.
All of the book reviews. I'm trying to get this dog because he's freaking out. Come here or go there. I need you to choose. Do you want to be here? Do you want to be there? Decide. Because if you want to be here, I want you to be here. If you want to be there, then stop whining like you want to be here and then not coming over here. I'm going to have a breakdown. I love him so much. I feel like I could die from it. He's just looking at me so sad. Like, because I'm not holding him. But he won't get close enough for me to hold him. And I'm trapped. I'm going to have to do the wiggly worms to get out of this chair. It's just devolved.
I can't breathe.
Welcome to the Incoherent. That's not the intro or the teaser next week. I don't know what could be.
I'm literally crying because I can't.
Me now.
Oh my God.
Hold on. I'm just going to stand up and grab. Dude. Look how easy that was.
I'm literally crying. Oh my God. Anyways, this is the perfect teaser for the next bit because if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, you can get full video episodes and witness all of this breakdown. Oh my gosh, go to theincoherentfangirl.com/Patreon. You can get early access to episodes, video episodes, and exclusive clips that will be also posted eventually. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
George Bailey's face.
You could see George Bailey's face, who...
He's so cute.
He is adorable. He is a stinker.
I know.
Oh my God.
You see what you caused? You see all that chaos you just caused?
So much chaos. I'm seriously... Okay. I'm good. It's fine. Everything's fine. Uh, um, if you want to shop our merch store, you can head to the incoherentfangirl.com/shop. There's lots of cute designs, including the limited edition Intruder Alert, which is only going to be available through the end of March. So make sure you grab one if you want one, because it will not be coming back.
Nope, it's going away.
It will be gone. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, design ideas you want to tell us that we're pretty, we will accept
Georgie's
all.
handsome.
Look how handsome Georgie is. You can send all of those to our inbox, theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. We love hearing from y'all. And one final way to support the podcast is to rate and review on whatever platform you are listening to us on. Please give us your words. We love your words.
We love your words.
She is at Mandy Perv on all the things.
She's at Ms. Made in China on all the things.
And once you have followed us on social media and you followed the podcast on social media, you can go and visit our internet besties and do some shopping and self-care because we love you. Head over to herecomesthenerd.com, use code FANGIRL, and you'll get 20% off your first order.
Then you're going to head to Once Upon a Book Club and get a book box. All of the book boxes, because they're all great. And you got 2 codes that you can use. We don't care which one you use. You can't stack them. We love you no matter which code you use. But you can use either code Karin10 or Mandy10 and you'll get 10% off. But just make sure you spell Karin correctly or you won't get any percent off.
And then you are going to head over to entrancingelixirs.com, use code FANGIRLT, and you'll get 10% off your order. But remember, unlike Karin, there is no I in fangirl. It's FANGRLTEA.
And then, of course, we need you to go to Amber D. Lewis's website. She's teasing her next project. So, yeah, head to amberdlewis.com, buy all of the Fire and Starlight Saga things, buy 2, buy 3, however many your little heart tells you to, and use code FANGIRL10. You'll get 10% off your purchase.
And once you have finished supporting us and our internet besties, I suppose we can head over and support the show husband.
I have a new microphone cable.
Well, there we go.
I'm just saying we're
He gets
keeping
to
him.
stay. He gets
Yep,
to stay.
he can stay. Sorry, Lazara. Sorry, Milo. Sorry, everybody. I love him. So there's that.
But Daddy, I love him.
He left this, just funny aside, he left this morning at 4 a.m. to go to Texas for the weekend. Yeah, he had a 8 a.m. flight, but it was this whole thing. Anyways, I think he was wearing an Incoherent Fangirl t-shirt when he left, but it was 4 a.m. and my eyes don't work at 4 a.m. ever. So unless I've stayed up that late. So could be wrong, but I think he was wearing a fictional boyfriend of the week shirt. So anyways, you want to go, now that you finished this episode, you're going to go listen to an episode of The Paranormal Mind. I don't remember what this episode is about, but I remember it being good. So do with that what you will. Last week's episode was the origins of the Muffin Man, and it was pretty freaking hilarious. I think this episode is about some really weird twins.
Okay.
I think is what this episode is about. And if you like really strange stories, this is going to be an episode for you. You also want to go over to searchersbelieve.com. They have some paranormal investigation episodes that you can get to from that website. And they have merch. If you use code FANGIRL10, you get 10% off. That merch was designed by yours truly. So it's pretty cool. Tell them we sent you.
Yay.
Searchers in the Paranormal Mind, folks.
Very exciting. And that's the Incoherent Fangirl.
Yeah, that was the Incoherent Fangirl. My face hurts.
I think I'm still crying. Thanks for listening. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at herecomesthenerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.